Good afternoon and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. I'm Eric Casson, and on today's show, we got a jam-packed one. We got Pete Alonso coming back to the Mets after about 7 years of negotiations. Then we got the I Don't Care Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles for the 1,000th time in New Orleans. New York Minute. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on Instagram. That's New York Minute, NEWYRK. MIN, and anywhere on that smoke wagon you call the information superhighway, you can find us. Chris, what's going on, bro?
Yo, how we doing?
I am like
today's show.
You know that point where you drink coffee and you're just about to sweat out of your shirt? That's the point I've reached. Don't know what's going on. Anxiety level at 10. Happiness at an 8. And you know who else is happy? Pete Alonso of the Mets. Pete Alonso signs for 2 years at $54 million, and we had spoke about it on the show prior. Gambled on himself and lost. The polar bear rolled the dice and came up cold, as they like to say. Chris, what do you think about Pete Alonso coming back to the Mets?
I think it's a big win for the Mets. I think he totally screwed himself. I mean, he turned down 7 for $158. He fires his agent, and he effectively gets a 1-year, $30 million deal because you know he's going to opt out and try and get a multi-year deal after this year. So, I think the Mets won big here, like getting another bat. You hope he doesn't bat 216 again, but
yeah. Anybody that goes from about 167 to, I don't know who lost more money this week, Luka Doncic or Pete Alonso. I think it's right around the same amount of money of $116 million. Now, Pete Alonso, I think, falls under one of those categories of he fits the Mets better than any team that he could really fit. He can go to Seattle, and he would just fizzle out. But Pete actually has some history with the Mets. So there's a lot of baggage with that. I think these contracts are very similar to the Derek Jeter contracts of the Yankees when he was testing free agents with Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman told him, and that's why the relationship between Brian Cashman and Derek Jeter is a little chilly, is because Brian told him, go look at free agency, because Derek Jeter was one of those guys who was a lot more valuable to the Yankees than the Cincinnati Reds.
Totally agree. I think you're spot on there. I don't see where he would have went, where he would have been able to make an impact like he is with the Mets. And, depending on where they slot him, maybe he's right behind Soto in the lineup, which you're going to have him on base and hopefully get some balls to hit.
The Lindor, Soto, Alonso, 3-4-5 or 2-3-4, however you want to put it, that's a very, very formidable lineup. And if you looked at the Mets roster, you were wondering where the runs were going to come from, because last year with the Mets, a lot of the guys they exceeded the back of their baseball card. So baseball is a game of averages. If you think you're going to get that production and more next year, you're probably going to be sorely mistaken, because just like guys like Anthony Volpe, everyone thought they were going to take the next step the next year, and the sophomore jinx. Everybody forgets about the sophomore jinx with a lot of rookies. And that is a thing, because the league does adjust to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, once the tape's out, all these pitchers and coaches and analytics staffs figure out how to pitch to these people. And, that's something that the second-year player has to overcome. But you need that tape. You need to see, how are they striking out? Where are they, hitting the ball to? And once you have a full season of that, these teams adjust, these pitchers adjust.
See, I think this is the age-old debate in baseball, is the eyeball test and the statistics. The eyeball test and the statistics, Chris, that's what the two things are. When I look at Pete Alonso, you got guys going, his WAR is only 0.5. You don't even know what WAR consists of, okay? You don't even know the equation that makes up WAR, and these guys love to lean on it. It's called the eyeball test. Pete Alonso is a current-day Harmon Killebrew, okay? Doesn't play first base too well, has 2 left feet, but boy, can that guy smash. 40 home runs every year, broke Aaron Judge's rookie home run record, the most home runs in Mets history, You can't let this guy walk out the door.
Well, yeah, he had 34 last year. No, and I agree. I mean, look, last year was his worst year so far, and he
And
was 30,
his bad year was
34, 34 and 88,
34,
right?
88, and hit what, 228?
How was average? 40.
Okay. So 240. League average is 238. So, dude, throw out the average. You're still getting 38 bombs. And not to mention, does everybody forget about the big hits he had in the playoffs? It just came down to the fact that Alonso bit off more than he could chew. And you know what it felt like? It felt like Pete is the guy that wasn't invited to the party and shows up at the party. They're like, hey, you found it? Hey, you guys gave me the wrong address. Soto's like, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Like Lindor, Soto, if you look at the Latino movement on the Mets, Pete doesn't fit the locker room, bro. And he's just going to be there for a year until they get Vladimir Guerrero Jr., until they bust open the books for
Oh, yeah.
for 325. You know what's kind of crazy, though, is I was looking, I was looking at the NBA trades and stuff like that. Aaron Judge makes $400 million for 9 years, right?
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein makes $41 million a year. Okay? Like, basketball is insanity.
Yeah,
the amount of money.
They're only paying 13 people. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're lucky enough to be one of, what is it, 10, 320, 375, 390 rostered players,
Yeah,
like,
it's unbelievable.
you're getting a boatload. Like, the 12th man makes $12 million a year.
Yeah. So the Mets took a page out of the Yankees book, is that they got another player on years that they're never going to use. So that second year, Pete Alonso's never going to see that second year, okay? Straight up, they're going to buy him out. So they're looking at whatever the first year's contract is, probably about $16 million buyout, like a Marcus Stroman. He's going to be Marcus Stroman next year for the Mets. Is that they're going to not know what to do with him. The fans love him for what reason, I have no idea. And he's a homegrown Met, and the Mets don't have any homegrown Mets, bro. Lindor's not a homegrown Met. Beatty, who's their homegrown Met? Beatty? And,
I guess.
You could trade him for a bag of rocks. But you know what? The Mets move the needle. Whenever I do a Mets post on social media, it's like 7 people are like, let's go, Mets go. I think there might be 800,000. My question to you is, dude, with the addition of Juan Soto, will Citi Field be sold out all the time, or will the fans still not show up? So the Met fans last year had a team playing above and out of their minds. In fact, they looked like the worst team in the first half of baseball, and then they were the best team in baseball in the second half when their attendance was 23rd in the league. So, like, you have a great, and all these Met fans are like, oh, give us something to root for. They always had an excuse with the Wilpons. They always had an excuse that they were too cheap, and they couldn't do this, and they couldn't do that. You finally get an owner who spends all the money in the world, paying 2 guys a combined $186 million to win a ring with somebody else, and then you guys still don't show up to the stadium.
Yeah, while they're on a complete tear. And I mean, look, there's no freaking excuse, because when I think of going to Yankee Stadium versus going to Citi Field is way better experience. Like,
way better.
The stadium is phenomenal. It's awesome. You go to Yankee Stadium, it's like you're going to a fucking mausoleum. When you go to Citi Field, it's like you're going to have fun. Like,
Okay, so pros and cons of Citi Field and Yankee Stadium. Citi Field, I'm still trying to get out of the parking lot from the Foo Fighters concert in August. This isn't even me. I'm not here, Chris. I'm still in the parking lot trying to get out. Okay? Mass transportation, it's like $60 for parking at Citi Field also. But the crux of my point here was, if the Met fans did not support a team that was playing out of their minds last year on the road to the World Series, when you raise prices, when you just got Juan Soto and signed Alonso again, and your payroll's going through the roof, the prices are going to go up, Met fans. And we know that the Met fans can be a little on the frugal side, if you know what I mean. So with the prices of an $800 million player going up, will attendance drop for the Mets this year, Chris?
I actually don't know what you mean by frugal. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The Met fan, the Wilpons, right? They have always got like basement bargain prices, right? So Citi Field and Shea Stadium was always a cheap ticket, right? Because they would put the minimal on the team, so the team is frugal. So when they go out and they don't spend money, because obviously they were clamoring for a new stadium, they build them a new stadium and they still don't come to the stadium. So it's got to be that they're cheap. It's not a fact that they don't love their team. It's not a fact that they don't root for the team, that they don't watch it on TV. They don't come to the stadium to support their team.
Yeah, look, hopefully Juan Soto changes things for them. I mean, like I said, I love going to Citi Field. Hop on the train from Manhasset, roll right in. Stadium's great. It's a good experience. Like, it's just, I don't know.
That's why I wish with that development of Citi Field and the casino, they would make a Jet Stadium right there.
Oh,
That would be amazing. Just take the
we're
train.
going.
Bro, I go to every game. I wouldn't even go to every game. I'd just be in the parking lot for every game. Because
Dude, you're not kidding. Like, you have to pay me to go to MetLife. Like,
what's that?
don't care. I said, you have to pay me to go to MetLife Stadium.
It's a
For
day. It's a day of work.
Yeah.
Going to MetLife Stadium is a day of work on a Sunday. It's a 12-hour day. It's a double shift at IHOP. That's what the equivalent is driving to MetLife Stadium, that air conditioning unit. You want to talk about the least amount of bang for your buck is going to MetLife Stadium. Do you see the stadium that they have for the Vegas Raiders, Chris? The thing is a floating spaceship. This thing looks like a decaying AC unit.
Between Jerry World, Vegas, LA, like, stadiums are amazing.
Yeah.
And we go into the air conditioning machine that cost probably $2.5 billion 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That has nothing in it. Nothing. Like,
Well,
there is nothing you want to do in it.
Because $1.5 billion went into somebody named Joey's pocket. And that's why. But
Hey, take it
listen,
easy.
in defense of the Yankees, okay, they do have the most technologically advanced stadium, and it is the richest stadium, and it is the most state-of-the-art stadium, apparently, in Major League Baseball out of the poll.
The Yankee Stadium is?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I did not
think
know
it's
that.
a lot of the drainage. You you don't take into consideration the drainage of the slope of it, holding events and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Yankees pay the guy that does the voting. Listen, man, I went in the past 2 years. I've been to 91 Yankee games.
Yeah.
Okay? I love that.
Second home.
I love that. I was looking before I moved here. I was looking at an apartment in the Bronx.
Really?
Yeah. Cheap. But then I was thinking it was going to be a discount. No. You actually have to pay. You actually have to pay a lot to live in a bad area.
Totally. Everywhere. Boroughs. Moving on.
Yeah, you have to live in a lot to live in a bad
All right,
area. All right, moving on. We got the I Don't Care Bowl. Chris, do you care about the Super Bowl at all this year?
I am an NFL fan, so yes, I care. And everybody who says they don't care and I'm not going to watch it, get your head out of your ass. You're going to put the game on. Like, period. I've heard enough of I'm not going to watch it. I hate the Eagles. I hate the Chiefs. Like, it's the Super Bowl. They are the two best teams. And I'm excited to watch them go at it.
Yeah, you know what? For me, it's been a down year, and I am not excited about this. I'm going to watch. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to front like I'm not going to watch. But, yeah, maybe we'll get a good game. I don't care. There is zero pop to this, man. The NBA trade deadline has more pop than the Super Bowl right now. Do you notice that?
Totally.
We're talking
Again,
about.
I mean, it's same old with the NFL. There's no interesting storylines. It's, can Jalen Hurts become the first quarterback who lost in a rematch to win a rematch?
Yeah.
It's never happened before. Like, that is the only story.
Actually, the other storyline that I would have to say is the cheating and the refs. Now, I'm not saying that this is happening, but when you have a majority of your fan base of the NFL saying that games are fixed or that games are a little tilted, that's not good. Even if it is completely unfounded, even if it's not true, As soon as you have that pebble in your foot about, oh shit, this might be off a little bit, it kills the integrity of the game. We just had a Major League Baseball umpire, Chris, go down for gambling, having a shared account with a friend. The guy was the most accurate umpire in Major League Baseball. So with the influx of gambling, bro, there is too much goddamn money to leave on the table to chance.
If the commissioner of the NFL has to come out and say something that it doesn't happen, probably happening.
Probably happening.
I'm a subscriber where there's smoke, there's fire. Always have been. And I mean, you can just look at the statistics of when the Chiefs are playing and the game-changing calls that go against their opponent. And it is like 100-0. I'm exaggerating, but like in crucial moments,
yeah,
3rd and 4th down when they're trailing, how many holding penalties, how many defensive pass interference penalties, and it's a lot. And look, you can call a hold on every single play in the NFL, like, okay, but to pick those spots where defense did its job, could have gotten off the field, and then whoop, there it is. Like, it just happens too often at the same spots in the game for there to be not to be coincident.
Let's think about it this way, though. If, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, the NFL is fixed. Kind of the Knicks, if you say it really quick. But let's say the NFL is fixed, okay? Wouldn't we be seeing the Lions and the Bills right now in the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. The reason I say that is
the NFL is not fixed towards what the fans want. The NFL is fixed towards how much money it can make. And if Taylor Swift is at the Super Bowl, guess what? Advertising is more expensive. Everything is more expensive. She is an economy in and of herself. So, NFL follows the money 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Why there might be international expansion. So,
that's why Roger Goodell makes $36 million a year.
You think Detroit and Buffalo is a show-stopping, $10 million every 30 seconds?
No, I think that it gets more. So you're sitting here telling me that a Bills-Lions Super Bowl wouldn't get more of a ratings than this weekend? People wouldn't be more talking about it? That New Orleans wouldn't be on fire right now talking about the matchup?
I agree with you, but again, those are two small markets.
But I'm talking about. I get what you. I think we're both on.
We're on the same page
here, Chris. But what we're saying is, we're splitting hairs here. But I'm gonna split hairs, and that's what the show is about. When you have let's just say Lions Bills, okay? Yes, two small markets. No one gives a shit about Buffalo. It should be in Canada at this point. But when you have somebody like me who is a sports fan, is going to be like, oh shit, I gotta be on my couch at 6:00 for that game. Something's going to give. No one's won a Super Bowl. Whoever wins this one, we're going to see history, guys. Now, the question is that just me through the eyes and the filter of a football fan? They're looking for Cindy, who is the secretary at Hertz Enterprise that doesn't watch football at all and wants them to watch the Super Bowl this year. So
yeah, all Cindy wants to see is Taylor Swift.
That's all Cindy wants.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, but I agree with you, dude. I would be stoked if it was Lions Bills. Are you kidding? I would be so ramped up.
Ravens Lions,
Ravens Lions, Bills Lions. I mean, imagine the Commanders got there, like a rookie quarterback. There were so many other storylines that could have panned out. Instead, it's a rematch, and it's either a three-peat or Jalen Hurts becomes the first quarterback to win in a rematch in a Super Bowl. That is it. Those are the storylines.
Yo, I saw something today that the Bills could have drafted Mahomes, right? They traded the pick to the Chiefs that got Mahomes.
Oh yeah, they also traded the pick last year that the Chiefs traded up and grabbed Worthy. Go figure that one out.
Wow. Yeah, man. Well, dude,
getting ice.
We were talking about this the other day, but just the juice, man, of the first Super Bowl that we saw with the Scott Norwood, the wide right game. I remember the Super Bowl being bigger than life. The Super Bowl was it, man. That Media Week. Media Week doesn't care anymore because everyone's their own brand. Everyone's got Twitter. We don't need these guys like the All-Star games, right? So the All-Star game in baseball should be non-existent because now we have interleague play and we have the internet. So we really don't need to, like, guys didn't know what the San Francisco Giants players looked like because they never played them. And that's why the World Series was so unique. Like, you look at the Pro Bowl in the NFL now, dude. Like, what
Flag
is
football. Oh, you weren't on the edge of your seat for the skills competition like I was?
what I did was,
I watched it for like 7 minutes. I'm like, this is the dumbest
I
thing
was
I've
on the
ever
edge
seen.
of my seat watching Larry Allen in the bench press.
Bench press 45,000 times, 225 pounds, or whatever it was.
Against
Yeah,
Joey
yeah.
Porter, right? So Joey Porter, outside linebacker for the Steelers, old heads know what I'm talking about. His son actually plays for the Steelers now. But so Joey Porter's like 225 too. Great linebacker. He gets up there, he does like 27. And everyone's like, oh shit. Larry Allen gets up there and does 41. 225, 41 times, bro. Like it's like
I know.
that offensive line for that Dallas Cowboys team, and not to mention, you guys got to remember, we're talking Super Bowl here. Me and Chris were underneath the Cowboy dynasty, okay? 3 championships, Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman. I hated the Cowboys.
You're not even a Giant fan.
No, everyone hated I hated Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin was such a POS. Troy Aikman wasn't even that good of a cornerback. And they just won, and they won, and they won. And you know what it is? Jets and Giant fans are different than Yankees and Mets or Islanders and Rangers. We don't hate each other. The Giants are in the Super Bowl or the Giants are in the playoffs. I'm not going out of my way rooting for them, but if I see them win, I'm happy. Like, I like the fact that you guys beat the Patriots and did our dirty work twice for us. I love Eli Manning. I love Rodney Hampton. Okay? I love
Dude,
Bill.
same thing as you're saying. Like, some of my fondest memories of like watching football when I was living in Manhattan were those Jets playoff runs under Sanchez and Rex. Like,
Yeah.
we would be out at the bars on the Upper East Side, and it was just electric. Like every game was off. So like, totally agree with you. But I think both Jets Giants fans right now, I think there's a bit of don't care because our teams just haven't been relevant in a long time. So like, it's really hard to like. I'll watch high school football if it's on TV.
Yeah.
I'm an addict. So I like any college game. If it's on, the remote control just stops and it just sits there. And Tara will come downstairs and be like, "What the hell are you watching?" I'm like, "I don't know, some Division III game." She's like, "Why?"
Actually, a lot of people don't know this about Chris. Trump actually announced yesterday he's putting men on the border to stop the inflow of football into Chris's veins. So hopefully that executive order will work for us. Yo, just to let you guys know, this Sunday is the Super Bowl, but what's more important, Chris, is the Puppy Bowl. I got about $2,500 on the Labrador Retriever, okay, and the under on the second half. So if anybody's looking to take action on the Puppy Bowl, I got you covered. And also, we got you covered on Instagram at New York Minute. That's NEWYRKMIN for more, and also for our long format Spotify, YouTube. And Chris, what are you looking forward most to eat during the Super Bowl?
Wings
and things. I'm going steak tidbits. Yo, by the way, and I'll leave the show off on this, and we'll talk about this next week. Pro or con? I started eating baked potatoes like soft shell tacos. Pro? All right, good. I'm not that crazy. All right, guys, be a pro. Go to Instagram, go to YouTube, Spotify, subscribe. Later,
boys.